Whatever path you are on, whatever inspired you to come here today, we honor you and we welcome you. And now, our message.
Wow. That is just an awesome beginning to happiness. And I'm just so delighted to be here and able to share that. I obviously became a new member of Satya today, and I started to think about what religious science and becoming a member would mean to me, and means to me, and was absolutely overwhelmed with the thought of how important religious science has been in my life, and how important happiness is in my life. As you get to know me, I have a reputation for being a hyperbolist. And I also have a reputation for being very positive and optimistic. And I really hope to create a bunch of hyperbolistic, happy optimists in this room. because as we feel is how we create. That wonderful, there was a statement, a sentence, it was like, what we think about is what we create, but that's not quite true. And I was thinking about what I wanted to share with you this morning are like the things that I know that are so powerful from my years in religious science. I'm Dr. Pam Chapman. I've been in religious science for a little over 25 years. I have a doctorate in religious studies and counseling from Emerson, which is our college, our school, and I'm also a licensed psychotherapist in Utah and California. And what I want to share is how religious science has absolutely transformed my life and the steps to take to have it transform my life in the future and your life every single day. Because there is a law. We learn that there's a law that's like gravity that we use to manifest the life of our dreams. And this law is always in effect. It's not something you need to learn how to manipulate or doctor or change or be different than any way you are. This law is always in effect. And what it responds to is your vibrational energy output. Okay? And I love religious science, probably more than any religion that I've studied, because it's such a blend of science and religion. I love the way that it takes psychology and philosophy and religion and turns it into this wonderful whole that we can use to manifest the life of our dreams. And it's about manifesting the life of our dreams that I really do want to talk about today. Satya's topic for the month is abundance. And I'm here today to truly share that abundance is easy, and that living a life that's prosperous and free and peaceful and joyful is our absolute divine right. And if there's any areas in your life where you've got a little hiccup or a bump in the road, it's literally a thought away to be able to change that into a blessing and just an enormous gift in your life. Science of Mind is the merging of so many wonderful truths. We teach a 5-step prayer treatment that, how many of you are familiar with it? And if you're not, there's wonderful classes that are ongoing here. And Reverend Alley and Reverend Lyle are so great in being able to teach us how to really utilize this law to create what we want. But the purpose behind affirmations, meditation, prayer, or the 5-step treatment work we do is all the same. It's to create an inner vibration, an inner feeling within you that's in alignment with that which you desire. So the purpose of your treatment work or your prayer work is not to have some mumbo jumbo out there that brings something into you, but is to create that beingness within you energetically that attracts and draws like a magnet. I always like to think of us as we're a tuning fork. And we've got to be resonating at that exact vibration of the thing that we want in order to have it. And when you think about the things that you want in your life, peace, harmony, love, joy, a new car, a better apartment or house, a
Success,
trip,
health, wealth.
wealth, all of it. You know, when you think about the things you want, what's the underlying emotion behind all of them? Is it worry, anxiety, tension, anger?
Lack.
Hmm?
Lack. When you don't have it, you want it.
Is it like desire? Or is it when you think about having that thing that you want, that experience that you want, isn't the underlying feeling a really positive one, a joyous one, a happy one?
Mm-hmm.
Would you say happy? Like, raise your hand if happy would be how you would feel if you could have everything you wanted. So that's how this whole thing of happiness comes to be the topic today. Because in order to have what we want in life, we have to be the tuning fork that says, happy, hyperbolous, joyful, woo! Because when you become that tuning fork, the law, which is always working 24/7, opens its floodgates and just brings you all this miraculous stuff that you want. But you've got to be that first. So our goal is to be happy. It's to be happy. How many of you felt happy listening to the music that we listened to already this morning? Or watching those gorgeous, gorgeous being girls up here rocking out? Wish you were up here. Did it make you happy? See, happiness and doing things that make you happy and thinking happy is how you get places. So I would just say the feeling we want is feeling good. It's being happy and doing the things that make us happy. But I want to back it up with some science. So I'm going to back it up with a couple people who I know all of you know and their comments about happiness and how we can bring more of it into our life. The first one that I want to talk about is the Buddha. And this is a quote from Buddha that came from 500 BC. So happiness has been on the minds of people for many, many, many centuries. The Buddha says that unhappiness derives from the incessant habit of judging every experience as pleasant or unpleasant, and trying to hold on to the pleasant ones and shunning the unpleasant. That's a quote. And then it goes on to say that Buddha taught that meditation was a means to develop the ability to observe thoughts without getting attached to them. Attachment to thought, according to Buddha, leads to emotional imbalance and behaviors that increase our suffering. So in order to be happy, we need to be able to look at our world and be happy, like no matter what's going on. The definition of happiness is not this radiant, yay, 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 I'm just so high all the time. The definition of happiness in Webster's definition, in Webster's dictionary, is that it is a state of contentment, that it is an experience of having good fortune. It's not good fortune, it's an experience of having good fortune. It's a thought. And the other one, definition number 3, is that happiness, the feelings of happiness, are appropriate to the occasion. Okay? Now that means that if you see somebody who's like, who is outside of an automobile accident, who's going, yeah, far out, whoa, my car got ruined, woo! Would we say that person's happy, or would we say that person's a nutcase? Yeah. So we're not talking about this bliss all the time. We're talking about a state of contentedness, a state of awareness and happiness that's appropriate to the situation. Now you could step out of that car accident and you could run up to the other person and you could say, are you okay? And you say, oh, thank you, I'm so grateful we're both okay. And look, our cars are smashed up, but we're okay. And if their leg is broken or yours is, you can say, oh, I'm so glad it's only that. It's that magical moment where you can accept what's happened and not get into this dramatic story that like spirals you down into hell. If you're living in hell in any area of your life, and trust me, I have often, so I know this from learning it and living it, know that it's your thinking. It's not the circumstance or the situation. It's always our thinking. So a couple other brilliant people, because I'm kind of smart, but I like using brilliant people. Cognitive therapy. How many of you are aware of cognitive therapy? Raise your hand. I'm a cognitive therapist, have been for years. Love cognitive therapy. And when I discovered religious science, discovered that it's cognitive therapy. Because cognitive therapy states that what you think is how you feel. And also that what you think is what you manifest in your life. Well, isn't that what Ernest Holmes has been teaching? I remember my first day of working on my master's degree at San Diego State. First day, I walked into class and sat down, and the professor said something that blew my mind. And I've never forgotten it, and this was a zillion years ago. He said that when you're dealing with a patient as a therapist, and they're telling you something, he said, don't listen to their words. Listen to what's happening in their life. So, for example, if somebody sits down and they say, oh, I'm really positive and I'm really happy, but you find out they've just gone through bankruptcy, they crashed their car, and they're divorced and they have no friends, disconnect, isn't it? You know, what they're really thinking and feeling is demonstrating. It's demonstrating in your life. Now, that's never to make you feel wrong or bad, or even feel like you have to be different. It's just an aha moment. If there's an area of your life that's not working, I guarantee you that there's thinking about that area of your life that's keeping you stuck in it. It's just a thought away from being able to make a transformative, mind-blowing change. A little thought away. Researchers have found that when you change your thinking, your brain chemistry changes not in hours, days, or minutes. It changes in milliseconds. I mean, I get goosebumps when I think about that. So cognitive therapy was actually founded in approximately 100 AD. It's a long time ago. And it was when, I can't say his name. My husband's really smart. I think he can. Epictetus. Oh, I never would have said it that way. Epictetus, who was a Greek slave who turned into a philosopher, developed a science of happiness. And here's what he taught. He taught that people should live in accordance with nature, and they should stop judging whether things that happen to them are good or bad. Because being a slave is bad, right? But being a slave is what turned him into a philosopher and as wise as he was and helped him transform the world that he lived in. All of our bad experiences can be used for major, phenomenal good. Again, it's the flip of the thought. He said that we needed to, he wanted people to learn that it's in their power to change. And a quote of his was, make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it comes. And another quote, and you'll love this one. This is the one I want you to really remember. The thing that upsets people is not what happens to them, but what they think it means to them. Okay. So flash forward a couple thousand years, a really long time. Martin Seligman, who's a professor of psychology at the University of Pennsylvania and a best-selling author, he wrote a book called Learned Optimism, which was a huge bestseller. Some of you may have read that. He studied people who became depressed following tragedy, and then he compared those to people who didn't become depressed after tragedy. And what he found was that there was this enormous critical difference in them. He also studied people who were raised in abusive backgrounds, and he thought that the people who were raised in abusive hardship backgrounds would be more depressed than people who were raised with prosperity and two loving parents and the perfect world. You know how we all want the two loving parents and, you know, the white picket fence and all the perfect stuff? Ends up being, Seligman finds out, that has nothing to do with our happiness ultimately. Like in not 10% or 20%, but how about 0? Nothing. You know, the happy marriage, the good health, the good fortune, the wealth, it didn't impact people's happiness. So what was it that did? You know, why are some people who go through divorce? I have a girlfriend whose mother went through a divorce. This is Melinda. Her mom went through a divorce probably 40 years ago and never got over it. I have friends who, I actually have a couple friends who are in their 80s who've been through 3 and 5 divorces, who celebrate men in relationships and just have a blast. What's the difference? I've actually interviewed these people to find out because it blew me away to see the differences that they have. And what Martin Seligman found out was that explanatory style is the term that he's famous for. It is how people explain rejection, defeat, problems, poverty, sadness. How do you explain that to yourself? An example that I use is that if I hear somebody doesn't like me or think I'm weird, I automatically go to this thought. I always say, oh, they don't know me yet. And I always say that, And when I feel too tall or too fat or not cute enough, I always look in the mirror and I always say the same thing. I always go, whoa, when I catch a reflection of myself. And I say, that's the face of a woman who can have everything she wants. You don't have to be a really good-looking man or really gorgeous woman to be the type of person who can have whatever they want, right? So it can be a bad day or a super Cheryl Tiegs day for me. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I always know that that's the gal I am. That's the spirit I am. That's the spirit all of us are. We just need to keep bringing it in. So what do you say to yourself about the circumstances in your life? Have you run out of money and now it's like, ooh, I don't have the money to do the things I want, woe is me? Or is it, thank you, universe, for the abundance I have and the clothes on my back, and I'm going to move forward from here? That's what explanatory style is. And explanatory style is also finding the good in everything. Saying, wow, I'm going through this really painful, horrible divorce, and I'm going through this really painful, I don't have money circumstance, and you know what? The gift on the other side is so obvious to me. Why, I am going to be able to help people because I'm living it, because we can't really help people if we don't live it, can we? I mean, the people who help the most are the ones who go through the pain. So the pain gives us our richness, our fullness, our fabulousness. You can't be fabulous without the walk, without the experience. But if you get stuck in the experience, you can get stuck in the experience for 40 years like Melinda's mother did. So we look for the gift. We flip the coin. We look for the thing that makes us feel better. In order to have what you want in life, you've got to feel good, because I know the things on your bucket list are the things that are going to make you feel good, right? So some ways to feel good: music, dance, theater, walking, nature. Make a list. Make a list of 100 things you love to do. And make sure that you're spending time every day not cleaning the gutters, but having fun. I know we have to clean the gutters once in a while, but we need to have fun all the time. Because the gutters will miraculously clean if you can be in an elated enough spot. They do for me. Thank you, John. Oh my gosh. So again, Seligman discovered that health, wealth, relationship, and attractiveness have minimal, if anything, to do with happiness. And that after even major catastrophes, people return back to their level of natural happiness after about 6 months. So even like after a stroke or something really horrible like that. So I think it's really important to focus on that happiness is a choice, and it is your job, literally, in order to manifest the things that you want in your life. It is your job to get up every day and to look for the beauty, to highlight the magnificence, to actually train your brains. This would be a great assignment for everybody in here this week. Let's train our brains to go out into the world and look for things to be grateful for, and then list them every night. But as you're walking through your day, go, whoa, what a gorgeous tree. Wow, look at that little dog. God, I've never seen a dog so little in my life. Look for the things that you can be grateful for. If you don't look how you look at how great your teeth are. Or maybe you've got the world's best eyelashes. I'm going to after I make yourself. It is like so time, ladies and gentlemen. for us to just celebrate the magnificence that we live in and to be grateful for it and just let the floodgates open. If you're not a member, become one. This is our 1-year anniversary of living in Utah, and we said we were going to make a decision within a year of which church to join, and I'm so glad we chose this one. Because I can't wait to be with all of you forever. Watch your thinking. Whenever you notice, and you don't have to be analyzing your thoughts, but whenever you notice you're not happy, whenever you notice that you're depressed, down, drained, lacking incentive to go where you want to go next or do what you want to do, look at what you're thinking. It's not the circumstances in your life. Not proven hundreds of times. It's what you're saying to yourself. So start talking to yourself like you would to a beloved child. You know, love yourself, nurture yourself. You are special. That's why I passed out that You Are Special poem. I want you to always remember that you are special. And that you have every single thing it takes to have the life of your dreams. You just have to allow yourself to feel the good feeling that brings it. Trust me, it's just a miracle. Every day. Every day. Thank you.
Close in prayer, and then we'll do our offertory and our affirmation. So just take a moment with me, close your eyes, and be comfortable where you are, and realize the oneness of the universe. Your connectedness to all that is divine, all that is spiritual, all that is powerful, all that is creative exists within you at this very moment. You don't have to reach out to touch it. It is within you. All of the happiness, all of the joy, all of the peace in the world, in your life, in any of your experiences, are just a thought away. It is not a long distance to travel. It is within you. You are the co-creator in your universe. You manifest your feelings, your experiences that you attract into your life. So today we take this opportunity to feel joy, to feel happiness. So many times this morning we have already smiled and laughed. Think of those thoughts and create from that place of being. It is within you to do that. It is our calling to do that. It is all within this divine possibilities. In your heart, in your mind, in your being, smile. And just know your true essence is happiness. And with that feeling in your heart, just release it, let it go out into the universe to manifest abundantly and return to you many times over. And release it and say with me, and so it is.
Thank you for blessing us with your presence today and being a part of the Satya Center. You're invited to join Reverend Allie and Reverend Lyle each Sunday morning at 10 a.m. for your dose of connection, inspiration, and co-creation. The Satya Center is located at 795 24th Street, Ogden, Utah. For directions, a map, and our service times, please see our website, thesatyacenter.org. This program was brought to you by the kind donations from the members of the Satya Center. Thank you.